The second biggest PLE of the year in SummerSlam takes place this weekend, and for the first time in its 38-year history, it is being done as WrestleMania with 2 nights. There are 12 matches on the card. My name is Manlykefresh, and let's run down the matches. So let's go! If any of you would like to be updated on any future videos I'm about to release, or just to follow me in general, you can follow me on X at www.x.com/manlykefresh. And let's kick off my prediction video and night 1 with the tag team match of multiple-time world champion Randy Orton teaming up with sensation rap and country star Jelly Roll to take on Scotland's Drew McIntyre and Ayo, the hypocrite, the YouTube sensation himself, Logan Paul, in a tag team match. Now, let's just get this out of the way from the get-go. Legitimately, but what we all know, Drew McIntyre is stranded in the UK. Don't know the reason why, but he legitimately is stranded in the UK. And I like the way how they pull it into a storyline that Drew McIntyre is stranded because of Jelly Roll's influence. So, obviously how this match came about was a few SmackDowns before, or the SmackDown before Saturday Night's main event. Logan Paul came out to literally berate Jelly Roll in the ring, which led to Jelly Roll and Logan Paul getting into an argument in the ring. Randy Orton came out to call Logan Paul a hypocrite. Like, how dare you criticize a legend and you say that he's leeching off wrestling when that's exactly what Logan Paul has been doing. And obviously, since Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre was scheduled to meet at Saturday's main event, he came in and claymored Randy Orton. Saturday night's main event led to Randy Orton winning, but beating down Jelly Roll and Randy Orton after the match. So with everything that's gone on and how Jelly Roll's been training for this particular match, I believe 2 outcomes will be Jelly Roll and Randy Orton will win. I also do believe if Drew McIntyre is unable to return to the US for SummerSlam, which would be a big shame because Drew deserves much better than this match anyway, I believe The Miz, as him and Logan Paul are from Cleveland, will step in, and they're former tag team partners anyway. So Orton and Jelly Roll to win, and The Miz to step in if Thingy can't come back. So the unlikely duo of tag team champions Raquel Rodriguez and impromptu and interim tag team champion Roxanne Perez will be taking on the even more unlikely duo of Alexa Bliss and her greatest rival in Charlotte Flair for the tag team championships. So now let's just call it how it is. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss have gelled very well together. In fact, they've gelled so well that I even believe the fans now are starting to get behind Charlotte Flair more now, because Charlotte Flair is no longer in the spotlight for the World Women's Championship or the WWE Women's Championship. She's now in a tag team and she's going after a tag team which I believe would actually be one of the greatest tag teams to be put together from two former world champions in Charlotte and Alexa. So obviously there's still the issue of Roxanne Perez being a little leech in the Judgment Day. I fully don't believe Raquel fully trusts her, but she's starting to gel with her a little bit more, which I believe would ultimately piss off Liv Morgan, who is at home recuperating. Or is she? And obviously Dominic has got quite close to them now as well, so more reason why Liv will be irate. But I believe in this match there's going to be a few hiccups on both teams as they're trying to get used to each other. But I believe when it's all said and done, I feel the bickering between, which will eventually all happen, and it'll probably happen in this match, between Raquel and Roxanne, Double R, will self-combust each other and allow Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair to win the Tag Team Championships. Or maybe an injured Liv Morgan may come out, slap Dominic for being by ringside with Roxanne Perez, and probably distract the Tag Team Championships. But either way, I believe Alexa and Charlotte will win the championships. Now this is one match I'm actually looking forward to, because Karrion Kross is finally on another PLE, and this time it's the second biggest PLE of the year, where Sami Zayn takes on, like I just said, Karrion Kross. So now, for months and months upon end, Karrion Kross has made it his mission to target Sami Zayn by calling Sami Zayn a liar, that he pretends to be this good guy and he's not that good guy. And Sami Zayn's always trying to convince Karrion Kross that he is that good guy, and he's not going to allow Karrion Kross to tarnish his good image. So now the stipulation for this match is, if Karrion Kross wins, Sami Zayn must admit that everything that Karrion Kross said about him is correct. But if Sami Zayn wins, then Karrion has to admit that everything he said about Sami Zayn is wrong. Now, that's just downright stupid. Like, just have a damn one-on-one match and leave it at that. Why has it got to be that someone wins for someone to be admitted? Like, in the day now, the person that's saying it doesn't mean it, because they would want the person to say the opposite if they'd won. So, I don't know. It's a ridiculous concept, but I'm just glad that these two are finally getting a match. And I'm really sorry to say this, guys, but, you know, Sami Zayn has been on a little bit of a losing streak himself. Sami's had his time. Sami's had his time in the bloodline. He had his time as Intercontinental Champion. He had his time chasing Roman when he turned on him like a couple of years ago. It's now time for Karrion Kross to finally get the spotlight, because he didn't win at Saudi Arabia like I thought he would. Sami Zayn won, and to be honest, it made sense, because, you know, he's Muslim, but, you know, they wanted to make the Saudi Arabian fans happy. But on this occasion, I'm giving this win to Karrion Kross, because he won a couple of weeks ago on Raw, and he's gonna win again tonight. So Sami Zayn to lose to Karrion Kross with the straitjacket. So Tiffany Stratton from SmackDown will be defending her WWE Women's Championship against the Queen of the Ring winner, Mrs. There's a Storm Coming, Jade Cargill, who is definitely the favourite to win this match, as she's got the size, she's got the power, she's got the grit, and she's definitely hungry to win her first Women's Championship. Now, Tiffany Stratton finds herself at a crossroads in her career now, where she has held the Women's Championship for 3/4 of a year, dating back to 2024. I think it was around Survivor Series, or just before Survivor Series, or just before Christmas, that she won the championship. So she is probably due to lose the championship at some point. So what I think will happen is this will be a very, very confrontational match. Jade Cargill will use her power and strength, and Tiffany will use her newly found experience, speed, and charisma to try and get the one-upmanship on Jade Cargill. So how I believe this will play down is probably Bianca Belair will make her presence known in the match, initially trying to root on Jade Cargill, probably intentionally or inadvertently costing Jade the match, because I still do believe that Jade Cargill is the Stone Cold Steve Austin of this story, and Naomi was the Rikishi, and Bianca is the Triple H. So I'm going to give this victory to, irrespective of whether Bianca gets involved or not, I believe Tiffany Stratton will win and retain her championship at SummerSlam. The OTC returned a few weeks ago on Raw to help his cousin Jay and CM Punk from a beatdown from Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker. So obviously Jey Uso and his cousin Roman are now going to be taking on that same team. These two young duns, these two young behemoths in a tag team match. Now obviously I believe Roman has returned early due to Seth Rollins being quote quote injured, and I'll explain later why I say that in the main event match with Gunther and CM Punk. So obviously Roman hasn't been around since the week or the day after WrestleMania, due to the fact of these two beating him up or taking him out of action, and obviously Roman is currently the man that runs the place. And what best way to test your two upcoming future main eventers than to put them up against the tribal chief, the OTC, the one above all in the bloodline. So Jey Uso, obviously Mr. former World Heavyweight Yeet champion, is there too. Now I've always said that Jey Uso is fantastic in a tag team. He's better in tag team matches than he is in single competition, because he's always got someone to carry him, because Jey is very sloppy in the ring. But I feel because Roman and Jey haven't really worked together as a tag team as much, and there still is a little bit of animosity between them secretly, I feel like Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed will take advantage of that. So I'm going to give this match to Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed, but I feel maybe what happened is maybe Jey goes for a spear, Roman gets in the way, gets taken up by accident, then Bron Breakker spears Jey, Bronson Reed with the tsunami, and then 1, 2, 3, game over. Uso and Roman lose, Breakker, Bronson win. Fatality. And what I believe will be the main event, and what has actually been listed as possibly being the main event, will be World Heavyweight Champion, the Ring General Gunther, be taking on, look in my eyes, what do you see? CM Punk, Mr. Cult of Personality, for the World Heavyweight Championship. So, CM Punk won a number one contendership match a few weeks ago to challenge Gunther for another World Heavyweight Championship opportunity. How many has Punk had so far since he came back to WWE? I dare say this is number 3, number 4, maybe? And it's been unfruitful, but anyway, it's been quite a lackluster build up to this match, though the summer of Punk was in 2011, but that was Money in the Bank against Cena, and we've already had Cena versus CM Punk already at Saudi Arabia's Night of Champions a few months ago. So why Punk is in this match, I can only pull it down to one legitimate reason. So we believe that Seth Rollins is quote unquote injured. So I'm going to make two predictions. If Gunther wins this match, then fine. Gunther will retain his championship and will go on for the remainder of the year as champion. However, if CM Punk wins the championship, then rest assured Seth Rollins was not injured. He will come out, he will cash in his Money in the Bank contract and take the championship away from CM Punk, becoming a two-time World Heavyweight Champion. And the first match that I am going to talk about for night 2 is Dominic Mysterio's Intercontinental Championship, which should be on the line against the phenomenal, the great AJ Styles, who is after his second Intercontinental Championship. So how this has come about was when AJ Styles come back to WWE after his injury. He was in a couple of feuds, and then around about that time, Dominic Mysterio and the Judgment Day started getting involved with AJ Styles. And ever since probably Money in the Bank, Dominic Mysterio has found a way to be dodging AJ by saying that he's injured. Whether that's legitimate, we don't know. Could be kayfabe. But generally, he's always found a means to try and dodge AJ Styles. Now, AJ Styles, he's very deserving of the championship. So is Dominic Mysterio, because Dominic Mysterio has come a long way since he first joined WWE when he was a kid. Even when he came in 2020 and became an active wrestler, he was missing something. But now he has found his calling. The fans love him. Even when he invaded AAA not that long, a couple of weeks ago, making stake to the AAA Mega Championship, I feel one of the contestants that were involved in that, who he attacked, might come and interfere in this match. Or it could be jealousy once again. Finn Balor could inadvertently cost Dominic Mysterio, or maybe Liv Morgan might make an appearance. But I believe because of these interferences, it's going to cost Dominic, and I believe AJ Styles will walk out as the two-time Intercontinental Champion. So AJ Styles to win this match. And Jacob Fatu will be trying to regain his United States Championship from his cousin and his former stable leader in United States Champion Solo Sikoa. Now, when it comes to Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu, I never get these predictions right. But the beauty of fantasy predictioning is that you give your opinion, and whatever your opinion is, you stick with it. And if it's wrong, it's wrong, but you give your reasons why you give your opinion. So this match was made to be put in a steel cage simply because of the fact that all of my family, or my family tree as Solo likes to call them, keep interfering in the matches, and that's the reason why Solo won the United States Championship from Jacob Fatu at Night of Champions. So now it's simply going to be a one-on-one with a steel cage around them. Now, let's be real. This isn't a Hell in a Cell. This is a steel cage match. So, let's just do the tail of the tape. Jacob Fatu, former one-time United States Champion. Solo Sikoa, current one-time United States Champion. Who needs a championship more? Jacob Fatu does not need, at this present moment, doesn't need the United States Championship. He is super over with the fans. He is so over, he doesn't need a championship to be the star that he is. I feel like Solo does. So I feel like maybe a Tama Tonga will return from under the ring, or he'll be in the ring somehow and come to cost Jacob Fatu the match. Or maybe Tala Tonga, the tall 7-footer, will come and interfere. There's still ways to get into that cage. They can open the door. Maybe when the door is open, as Jacob Fatu tries to leave the ring, he gets smashed in the face with something, and then Solo, being the comedian that he does, makes his way out of the ring in character mode. And because of that, I'm going to give this win to Solo Sikoa. I believe Solo Sikoa will retain his United States Championship with outside interference, and he basically needs the championship to establish himself a lot more. Solo's got something going on here with his comedy gimmick, and for Solo Sikoa to lose right now will damage him even more than he has been already. I think Solo will get the championship back eventually. Jacob will get the championship back eventually, but for now, keep it on Solo. So Solo to win this match. And it's now time for the official rubber match between Becky Lynch, who is the current Women's Intercontinental Champion, taking on the former inaugural Intercontinental Women's Champion in Lyra Valkyria. And just like the first match they had, there is a stipulation behind this one. If the second match, sorry, that's like the second match they had. If Lyra Valkyria loses this match, she can't challenge for the IC Championship for as long as Lynch is the champion. So now it's now one apiece between the two of them, with Lyra winning the first match and Becky Lynch winning the second. So now, they had a match at Evolution, but this one was a triple threat with Bayley. Bayley was eliminated out of the match by Becky Lynch to retain her championship, and now there's no Becky Lynch on the card, which kind of makes me sad, because I like Becky Lynch. I like Bayley. Bayley is great. I don't know why she's not on the card, but anyway, back to this match at hand. Lyra Valkyria is the future of WWE, and I'm pretty sure, being Irish just like Becky Lynch, she wants to work with her to elevate her star power as much as possible. And as much as people want to call Becky Lynch the female version of Hulk Hogan back in the day, I feel tonight Becky Lynch is going to do the honours for Lyra and let Lyra win this match. So I believe Lyra Valkyria will pin Becky Lynch to become the new Women's WWE Intercontinental Champion. So Lyra Valkyria to win this match. Right, with all the divisions on Raw, SmackDown and NXT, the SmackDown Tag Team division is by far the hottest. And this is proof of it tonight, that he finally getting some form of PLE representation at the moment. Because the last time I believe a Tag Team Championship was defended on any PLE was the World Tag Team Championships at WrestleMania, where the New Day beat the Viking Raiders, or whatever they call themselves now. So basically now we have the Wyatt Six, who are the Tag Team Champions, taking on Motor City Machine Guns, the Street Profits, DIY, Fraxium, and the newly formed team of Andrade and Rey Fenix. Well, I say newly as in WWE, because they used to work well together in AEW, but that's not a case for now. We're talking about WWE. So in a TLC match, which is by far one of the most brutal matches you can go in. So obviously the championships will be hanged up, I believe. I'm sure it's like a ladder match, but with table ladders and chairs. I'm sure of it. Or someone has to get pinned. I'm not sure. But let's say for the sake of argument, it's to grab the championships from the top of the ceiling and not be pinned. The Wyatt Six were lost in limbo for a very, very long time. And they've now come back. They've now won the Tag Team Championships from the previous champions, the Street Profits. Every single team in here, with the exception of Andrade and Rey Fenix, have won some form of Tag Team Championships while in WWE. So I would put my bets on Rey Fenix and Andrade. However, they've only just been put together as a tag team in the last couple of weeks. They even, weren't they supposed, I'm sure, don't quote me on this, didn't they win a #1 contendership match to face the what? They did, I believe they did. I'm sure the match got thrown out because every participant got involved. So I think that's why we've now got this 6-way tag team match in a TLC. I'm just going to play devil's advocate here. I feel right now the Wyatt Six, their mystique is gone, the attention is gone. I feel like right now, to establish themselves as a dominant team and the most destructive force on SmackDown right now, I'm going to say Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis retain their tag team championships. Like I said, I'm not sure whether this TLC match is to collect the championships or to pin. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, the titles are up above the ceiling and you have to climb a ladder to get them. I believe it's going to be the Wyatt Six who win and retain their championships at this match. What does that mean for the SmackDown tag teams that don't win? Back to the drawing board and come back to fight another day. So current and new women's world champion in Naomi will be defending her championship against the former women's champion in Io Sky and the former women's champion in her own right, Rhea Ripley, in a triple threat match. So as you're fully aware, at Evolution, which probably was the best match of the card, if not the year, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky put up a great match against each other. They literally threw everything but the kitchen sink at each other, and while they were completely out of it, literally on the floor, in the ring, just completely out. Referee was out. Naomi shot her shot, came out with the Money in the Bank briefcase and cashed in. Threw Rhea Ripley out of the ring and literally did split-legged moonsault on Io Sky to become the new World Women's Champion for the 3rd time in her career. Now, Naomi did deserve this, but now we're down to triple threat match. So which one of these 3 women will be taking on Stephanie Vaquer at Clash in Paris? So, straight off the bat, Rhea Ripley doesn't need the World Championship. She is an established star now. She is at the stage now she doesn't need the championship. She's like the Undertaker of the female division. She don't need a championship to get over. She's over already. She's mega over. Io Sky, I would prefer her to have another run with the championship. But I feel, with Naomi being the crafty person that she is, maybe Io Sky will literally be on the verge of winning by pinning Rhea Ripley, and then Naomi will come out of nowhere, take advantage of the situation, pin Rhea Ripley for the 1-2-3 to retain her Women's World Championship. And in the final match for SummerSlam for night 2, which will be the main event, will be Cody Rhodes chasing after his Undisputed Championship from the reigning 17-time world champion in John Cena in what will be a street fight. So Cody Rhodes, even though he was supposed to get a contractual rematch, had to go through the King of the Ring tournament and win it at Night of Champions to become the #1 contender at SummerSlam. So this is why Cody Rhodes is now your #1 contender. So the build up to this is now, it's not the case of finishing the story, but it's a case of where now Cody is now the hunter and John Cena is the hunted. However, I can't lie to you, the build up to the WrestleMania 40 match, because of The Rock, was dead. The Rock could have made it a little more interesting by being present, but he didn't. And now we've got this scenario now where Cody Rhodes is now chasing after something which he lost because of Travis Scott, who, thank God, is no longer interested with WWE. WWE have parted ways with him. Thank God for that. Guy's trash. But in regards to this match now, filled up some crap. I don't really care about this match, I can't lie, but I want John Cena to remain world champion for now, because I feel there is another match that he needs to have with Roman moving forward before he finally drops the championship, maybe back to Cody. But what my outcome will be is that during this street fight, maybe John Cena will do a couple of low blows, there'll be some interference from somebody, and I think at the end of the day John Cena will win, but you still need to keep your eye on Seth Rollins. I don't think Seth Rollins is injured. If he doesn't go for Gunther for the World Championship, he'll be coming for the WWE Undisputed. So John Cena to win and retain. With all my predictions now covered, stay tuned for my final thoughts. And for the first time ever, I'm going to dedicate a whole final thought segment to one person, the late Hulk Hogan. And I'm going to keep it very simple, very honest, and very truthful. Hulk Hogan, aka Terry Bollea, was one of the most polarizing, most controversial, yet impactful people you could ever meet on this planet. Though I never personally met him in person, I do remember back in the late 80s when I was a child, when I first watched wrestling, the three people that stood out the most to me was Hulk Hogan, Bret Hart, and later on The Undertaker in 1990. And as much as I want to say I despise Hogan for what he said, and I'm well in my right to feel that way, I have to also remember this is a man who revolutionized sports entertainment to what it is now. He created the NWO. He put wrestling on the map. So for those characteristics alone, thank you, Hogan. Thank you, and rest in peace. Before you guys leave, kindly do me the greatest honor by subscribing to my YouTube channel by clicking on subscribe, and by following me on my only social media platform of X at www.x.com/Manlykefresh, where you'll be updated with any future videos which are about to come out, whether it be my wrestling videos or my gaming videos or my top 20s. So until next time guys, see you at the next video, look after yourselves and take care. Bye bye.